Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt, also known as the Ammo Nerd. Over here on my channel, when we review ammunition, we do all kinds of weird things to them to try to give you guys as much information as possible about these things. We tear them apart, we measure the powder charge, we measure the bullet, we take macros of everything. But I've got a super special one for you all today. This is from the early 90s. This is Winchester Black Talon 250 grain SXT in the world's most powerful handgun, 44 Magnum. Well, it was the world's most powerful. Let's throw this guy on the table and talk about what we're going to do today. First and foremost, I'd like to give a big thank you to Jason over at Ballistic Impressions. He makes a lot of clear acrylic or epoxy resin art. He makes paperweights and spheres and all kinds of other designs out of expanded ammunitions and shell casings and all things ammunition related. But he sent some of this over so that we can capture some in some clear ballistics gel as well as in our water barrel to see what kind of expansion we're going to get. Not only do we have a 6-inch Desert Eagle, but we brought out a 16-inch carbine because there are some 16-inch carbine 44 mags. So I'm curious, since this is not a bonded bullet, whether or not the jacket is going to separate at those kind of velocities or not. It's about 75 to 80 degrees outside and sunny today. We're going to try to get as many shots into the ballistics gel as possible. We have some clear ballistics gel 6x6x16 down there. I think it's on its second melt. There's a lot of discussion about the validity of clear ballistics gel versus organic and live tissue. We're not going to get into it today. I just want to see some pretty flowers. We'll start with our 6-inch Desert Eagle. This is a Mark 19. It's my 50 cal Action Express gun. I bought one of the new 44 mag barrels, I think from Gun Zone deals. This has the internal muzzle brake on it, so effectively I think we have a 5-inch barrel worth of rifling. Then we have our 16-inch that we'll go to. Hey, that one actually fed. Because the rear sight doesn't get replaced when you swap the barrels, we are 3 inches high at 12 feet with this versus the 50 AE. .1234, and we indeed were high. Let's go check that. And very close to the same velocity, kind of down a little bit. I think when I'm testing soft body armor, the NIJ calls for a 240 grain load at 1440 feet per second. Doesn't look like I'll probably get that with this 5-inch barrel. And now onto our 16-inch. This is a Ruger 44 Magnum. It has an internal tube magazine. I borrowed this from my father. It's got a Leopold 1.5 to 5 power scope up top. Very interesting little gun here. I'm not sure if anyone's ever tested any 44 mag out of a 16-inch. Jamie P, hopefully you're glad I'm testing some 44 Magnum. Oh, 1622, whoo, good velocity out of that guy. We'll take one more shot with a 16-inch and go down and see what we did. I think you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised. If any of you don't know any of the history about this particular bullet, essentially in the early 90s when it came out, a lot of the media tried to vilify how evil this cartridge or this particular loading was because it had a black coating on it and the petals were so sharp that when the surgeons were removing the bullets, they were cutting themselves and having a hard time. And essentially that's just the mainstream media. You always can't believe everything they say. Essentially, Winchester eventually discontinued the Black Talon name, but this particular bullet is very much an evolution of what now the Ranger T, our PDX-1, PDX-1 bonded, and all the different variations of the Winchester law enforcement bullet came from this design. very, very good at expanding and offering good penetration depths. Hopefully I'm not talking y'all's head off today. The block has jumped the building, folks. We'll try to get a couple different angles here in a minute, but this top track right here is from our 6-inch Desert Eagle. We have penetration all the way right to about the 17.5-inch mark. The bullet is actually base forward, so at some point that bullet either tumbled or turned about its side. And then this bottom track right here, look at that. We have some fragmentation very early on. Forgive the tape measure here. Starting at the 1-inch mark and extending out to the 5 or 6-inch. And then we've got a permanent wound cavity that extends all the way to the 21.5-inch mark. So this bullet is not bonded, so that means the lead isn't bonded to the jacket. So when you exceed that bullet's velocity design, some of that jacket and or lead can fragment off, and that's why we have those extra little wound paths right there. And that's probably why we got extra penetration depth out of that, because the bullet is actually a little smaller in diameter because of that shedding of material, and we have less retained weight. But still, 17.5 inches from the pistol, the recoil on that wasn't terrible. That'd be a viable self-defense load. Now again, we'd have to test it against different types of barriers such as windshield glass, car doors, and denim. Our two top wound channels are the pistol barrel length, very similar. We have a lot of disruption starting up almost instantly and then settling down right around the 7-inch mark, and then we have just pretty much straight line permanent wound cavity right there. These two bottom shots are from the 16-inch. You can see that fragmentation occurring. You can see some fragments there, and then it just settles down to what we have as permanent wound cavity. Apologize if you can't see the block too well. They have been remelted, like I said. The sun's at a weird angle, but I'm very impressed with that load. Here are our 4 recovered rounds, our pistol on the left and our carbine on the right. You can see how much of that core has kind of peeled away and pushed these jackets back, and they aren't kidding. These little talons are very, very sharp on this. But that is some awesome expansion. I do believe for Jason's use, he's probably going to want these shot more so out of the pistol so we can make nice, lovely flowers out of them. But even these are awesome. Now, I don't have any of the FBI spec denim, but I do have 6 layers of 10-ounce denim down there. And we'll take a shot out of each one of these guns and see if that amount of denim can clog up this bullet design. .1253, that might have been an error there. Maybe go check that one. You know, the bad thing, folks, is I just made that new backdrop at work, and that's 1/8-inch steel, and the energy coming out of a lot of these rounds is actually bending that steel. That's a brand new table too. Hopefully I don't put a hole in my table. .1651, blocks jumping. Let's go see what's happening. Here is our denim material. Like I said, I do believe this is 10 ounces. So it's layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I need to see if like Clear Ballistics has the FBI spec. But anyways, here is our 16-inch all the way out to 24 inches. So not much more penetration. You can see that that bullet expanded. And then out to the 25-inch mark right there is our Desert Eagle. And we have the same similar wound track going on right there. We have fragmentation almost instantly happening on this 16-inch and extending out to the 6 or 7-inch mark. And then with the pistol, we pretty much have straight line permanent wound cavity. Very, very impressive, if I do say so myself, folks. Here is our pistol. Look at those very, very sharp talons for cutting lots of tissue. With our pistol velocity bullets such as these, you need a lot of frontal area to crush, tear, and damage stuff that the bullet directly passes through. Here's our 16-inch. Folded those petals back upon itself just like in the bare gel test. It seems like this particular amount of denim has just a little bit of a negative effect on this bullet design. Well, Jason, I greatly appreciate being given the opportunity to catalog some of this older collectible ammunition, especially black Talons and the associated myth and hype that come along with them. If anything, I've finally picked up a 44 mag barrel for our Desert Eagle. So in the future, if someone has a 44 mag load that they'd like me to test, Jamie, I'm looking at you. We can get our hands on some of the ammunition, and we actually have a test firearm to use them in, and I don't have to go and bug some of my friends and family to borrow their firearms, because I don't like doing that if all possible, because then I feel really bad and I have to clean their gun and all that stuff. I don't know about you all, but I'd say this load performed rather well. I would like more of it, you know, to get a 10-shot string of velocity and different barrel lengths, but I think we collected very good data here today. We were within, you know, the FBI specifications out of a pistol, you know, 12 to 18 inches. A couple of them went a little over that when we introduced some heavy clothing to it. But as a personal protection load, if you carry 44 Magnum, something like this is going to do very well. Or in a hunting scenario, if this is the particular bullet you're looking for, I would rest easy at night. With all that being said, I'm going to get out of here because it's Sunday movie night. At the end of all of my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who help make these possible. Number one is my Patreon supporters. Number two is Jason over at Ballistic Impressions, who again provided us with this ammunition so that he could actually make some art with it. If you guys are looking for these captured rounds, you know, to display in one way or another, look forward to seeing those posted on his page to pick some up. And of course, number three is you all for watching. I'm also still running my Road to 50,000 subscriber giveaway. I've got a link to that video in the description below. All you have to do is go over to that video and comment, try to share it and get those subscribers up to 45,000, and then we're going to do that giveaway. And then we have another one to get to 50K, and then once we get to 50K, we've got a pretty good prize package that I've wrapped up. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I kind of lost track myself. But being this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off, you gotta ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?